make this beanie, I used Red Heart, and I actually didn't use specifically from this collection by Red Heart. I did use Red Heart with Love, but you can use any number 4 worsted weight yarn. The color I am using is called Paradise. We are also going to be using a H5mm crochet hook. You are also going to need some stitch markers. You're going to need a yarn needle. Of course, we need some scissors as well to make this really cute beanie. And you are also going to need a pom-pom maker. I am using this pom-pom maker by Clover. You could find this at Joann's, Michael's, or even Hobby Lobby. If you are around any of your local arts and crafts stores, guarantee they likely sell the Clover pom-pom maker. And this one that I'm using today is a large, I believe. Couldn't find my smaller one, so I went ahead and just went with this one that I have on hand. To begin, we are going to start with a magic ring. We are now going to single crochet 9 times inside of the ring. So this chain one doesn't count as anything, so we don't put, of course, anything there. So we are going to single crochet into the ring 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. After we have placed 9 single crochets into the ring, we want to pull this closed, shut. Okay, we are now moving on to round 2. We are going to slip stitch to the first single crochet made right there. If you are a beginner, you may want to put a stitch marker there just so you remember where your first single crochet is. And we're going to slip stitch that through. For round 2, chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. This counts as a double crochet here and throughout, okay? Double crochet into the same stitch as the chain 3. So being that this is our first double crochet, of course we are going to go directly back into that same spot. Now we have 2 double crochets into there. Into the very next stitch, we are going to put another set of 2 double crochets. Okay, we are going to repeat this all the way around, placing 2 double crochets all the way around to every stitch. This last stitch will be 18 double crochets. We now have 18 double crochets all the way around. So we are now ending, and we want to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 right there. And you can pull shut this closed more if you want to, if the hole disturbs you. For round 3, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. This chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. So into the next stitch after, we are going to put a double crochet. So right here, into this very next stitch right there, we are going to put a double crochet. just like that, into the third stitch right there. We are going to do a V-puff stitch. If you do not know how to do a V-puff stitch, I will show you how to do this. To do a puff stitch, yarn over and go into the stitch, pull up a loop, and you want to pull it a little higher, and you want to have loose tension when you are doing this. Yarn over, go back into the stitch, pull up a loop, pull up the yarn more, yarn over, go back in again one last time, and pull up a loop, pull up a little bit, yarn over, pull through all of the loops. Then you are going to chain one, and that is a puff stitch. We're going to go back into the same stitch, and we are going to repeat the same thing 3 times. Yarn over, go through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go back into the stitch one more last time, pull up a loop, and we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all of those loops. Chain one. And you never want to forget to chain one. So from here on throughout, this is going to be our V-puff stitch. So when I say, and if you read my pattern, it says V-puff, this is what I am referring to. Into the next 2 stitches, place 1 double crochet. 1 and 2. We are again going to repeat doing a V-puff stitch. Okay. Okay. Chain 1 and do another V-puff. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Place 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then you are going to repeat this all the way around, putting 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then doing your V-puff stitch, and then just repeating those 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. I'm going to repeat this all the way around, and I will be back as soon as I get to the end. Okay, so I've come to the end, and I ended with a V-puff stitch, and you always will end with a V-puff. We are going to move on to round 4, and we are going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Into the next stitch, we are going to put a back post double crochet. To do a back post double crochet is to basically do a double crochet but around the post. We are going to yarn over, and into this next stitch right here, we are going to go behind the stitch. Okay, we are working in the back, and we are going to go through the other side right there. Okay, so let me just show you again. Yarn over, go through, and then go through the back. Yarn over, pull your yarn through, pull up a loop. You have 3 strands of yarn on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is a back post double crochet. So this counts as a back post double crochet, and this counts as a back post double crochet, of course. Into the actual V-puff, you are going to put a V-puff in there. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and chain 1. Put another puff stitch in there. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Okay, into these next two double crochets right here, put a back post. So where's one, and there's two, and then there's a V puff, so you are going to put a V puff there. 1, 2, and whoops, and 3. Sometimes your yarn can get caught in there. And then chain 1. My tension is a little tighter than usual today. And then you're going to put another puff in there because we want 2 puffs. That's what the V puff stitch is. And then into the next 2 double crochets, put a back post. And that's going to be the repeat around, is to put 1 back post double crochet into the next 2 stitches and then do your V puff. Okay, so that's how it's coming out so far. That's just really beautiful. Okay, so in the end here, all we did was slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, and of course you want to end with a V puff stitch. Okay, so now we are moving on to round 5, and to move on to round 5 we are going to be doing some increasing. We are going to chain 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now into the same stitch we are going to back post double crochet over the chain 3 post. So here is your chain 3. We are going to yarn over and we are going to turn our hook backwards. Okay, we're going to come from the back, go through right here, pull up a loop just like that, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have 2 stitches there, and that is an increase. We are going to go through the back of the second double crochet, well, the back post double crochet, and do a back post double crochet twice. So there's the first back post double crochet, and then we are going to go over that back post double crochet again, and that's going to be a total of 4 stitches. Okay, so we have 4 stitches here. Okay, so now we are going to move on to this V puff stitch. Okay, and we are going to do our V puff stitch there. So do your V puff, 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 1, and do another puff, 1, 2, and 3, pull through, chain 1, and into the next 2 stitches put 2 back post double crochets per back post. So there's 1, and then we're going to back post over the same back post, and then do that again into the second stitch, back post double crochet, and then back post double crochet again over that same stitch. That's an increase. Then we are going to repeat that all the way around, putting our V puff and then putting 2 increases per back post double crochet. And so I am going to leave you guys to it, and I will be back in just a moment as soon as I get finished. Okay, so I've come to the end of round 5, and we are going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 because that is our first stitch. Now what we want to do is pretty much just even out our increases. So we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. For the chain 3, we are going to leave that alone. So all we are going to do is put a back post into the next 3 stitches. So There's this next stitch right here, which is a back post right there. So we are going to put a back post over that one, and then into the next stitch right here, that's 2, and then into the next stitch, that's 3. So we should have a total of 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we are going to do our V-puff. That's 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch through, chain 1. And then after this, it's pretty much the same thing with what we did in the front. We are evening out the number, so we are going to put 1 back post per stitch. So there's that one, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3 right here. Whoops. And then this is the 4th one right here. Okay, so then do your V-puff stitch, and that's the repeat around here. So go ahead and continue to work this in the same fashion, and I will be back in just a moment as soon as I finish to the end. We have come to the end of round 6, and this is what it should look like so far. It's super adorable. Moving on to round 7, we are working on the ear flaps. Chain 3. And now we are going to do 1 back post into the next 3 stitches. So put a back post to those next 3 stitches. There's 1, 2, and 3. Then you are going to work the next V-puff right here. Okay, so work your V-puff, work your V-puff. Gosh, I can't speak sometimes. It's also late too. And we're going to work another V-puff in there. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Okay, so after the V-puff, we are going to chain up 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We chained up 8. We are going to skip the next 4 back post double crochets, and we are going to V-puff stitch to join. So yarn over, and we are going to join with the V-puff. So there's 1, 2, and there's 3. Okay, and just pull that through just like that, and then chain 1. Then do your other V-puff. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. And if the ear flap is too small for your pet, you can always make it larger by chaining more, but it's going to be a little loose, just to let you know. So now we are going to continue to back post double crochet into those next 4 stitches, and then V-puff stitch until you reach the 10th stitch from your last ear flap. Okay, so back post double crochet these next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we are going to V-puff stitch 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is the 10th stitch I was talking about. So in this stitch, we are going to V-puff. 2, 3. And that's why I hold it with my thumb. Okay, then V-puff again. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we are going to chain up 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now that we have 8 chains, you are going to skip those 4 back post double crochets right here and V-puff to join directly to the next V-puff stitch. So right here, and we are going to skip these, and then right here is where we're going to V-puff to join. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, just like that. Chain 1 and then V-puff again. Well, actually just do a puff stitch, not a V-puff, because that's our last V right there. And then finish by putting back post double crochets in these, and then your last V-puff. Continue on. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then do your last V-puff right there. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we have come to the end, and we are going to slip stitch to the first top of the chain 3. Round 8, we are going to chain 2, 1, and 2. Now this is going to count as our very first half double crochet, and we are going to half double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Okay, so there's 1. Well, that's actually 2 because the chain 2 counts, but okay, so 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, now right here we are coming to our V-puff, and there is a stitch open right there. If you can see that little hole right here, we don't want to put anything in there, so don't confuse that for a stitch. We're going to work a V-puff into here to keep our pattern going. So 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1 and do another puff. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then chain 1. And then we are going to do 1 half double crochet into each of those chains. So we are going to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in those chains, put 1 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so we have 8 chains there. Now what we are going to do is do a V-puff. 1, 2 and 3. 1 puff, chain 1, and then there's a second puff. 1, 2, 3. So you guys catch my drift. That's pretty much what you're doing. Wherever there isn't a V puff, you just put a half double crochet there. If there's a V puff, you definitely got to put one in there. So go ahead and finish putting 1 half double crochet around in your V puffs, and I will be back as soon as I get done. We are now on round 9, and we are going to create the ear flaps for these. To begin, chain 1, and we are going to single crochet into the same stitch where we just chained up 1. Next, we are going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and there's stitch number 3. Remember, we do not want to go into this stitch right here, because if we do, we are adding a stitch, and we don't want to do that. So right here is where we want to put our V puff. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then put another puff in there to make it 2 puffs. Chain 1. Okay, now we are going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain up 31 and single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and single crochet your way back up to over here. We are now going to work along the side of the ear flap, and you can use a double crochet if you want. You can use a half double crochet. You can slip stitch your way back up, but I am going to single crochet my way back. So single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and that makes it a total of 30 single crochets. So crochet your way back up. Okay, so I have come to the end of the ear flap. This is my 30th single crochet, and now I am just going to single crochet right here into the next stitch, just like that. And I'm going to continue to single crochet all the way around, and remember that where there is a puff, you're going to put a puff, and you don't want to add a stitch there. So do your puff. 1, 2, and 3. There's 1, 2, and then there's 3. Chain 1. And then single crochet into those next 4 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 is right here. Okay. Again, puff stitch. 2, 3, chain 1, and then do your other puff. So continue this all the way around, and when you reach the 4th stitch right here, right in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, The fourth one, you're going to chain up 31 and single crochet your way back up here, and then continue to single crochet all the way around. As soon as I get done doing this, I will be back in just a moment. Okay, so right when we come to the end, this is what it looks like. We have our 2 ear flaps and our puffs and then our single crochets. So now we are going to slip stitch to the first single crochet that we made here. And we're going to slip stitch. After we have slip stitched to the first single crochet, all you have to do is chain 1 and finish off, weave in your ends, and you are done. Okay, so now that we are done with our beanie, all I did was weave in my ends, and this is how the beanie comes out so far. And this is without the pom-pom. I really recommend the pom-pom. It looks so cute with the pom-pom. So I made a pom-pom off camera using Clover's large pom-pom maker. And if you want to learn how to make a pom-pom, please watch my other video. The link will be in the description box below on finding that tutorial on how to make a pom-pom for this hat. So all I'm going to do is attach my beanie, and what I like to do is use my hook when I am attaching my pom-poms, and I'm gonna just slide my hook through the middle of that right there, and I take my yarn, loop it, weave that through, and I pull it out that way. And then what I do is I go back to the other side, and I take the other piece of yarn and I thread that through, pull it out that way. So then that way you can pull all your strands, and this is actually from round 1. So I'm going to show you guys something that I like to do, and to me it's a great tip. So what I do here is, these are the 2 strands of yarn from my pom-pom, and this is from round 1, from when we created our magic ring. So what I like to do is get these. I like to get 2. So this is the magic ring, the beginning, and this is part of the pom-pom. What I do is take both of them and tie it really tight, and then tie it again in a knot, so you don't have to weave in that later. And just to be safe, I'll do it one more time. I think I did that like 3 times. And then all you have to do is just cut it. But what I do is I cut about right there, because nobody's going to see the inside of it, right? I mean, it's just for your dog, so I leave it like that. And that's how I attach for my beanie. So this is how it looks. You can, you know, fix the pom-pom, cut it, trim it as much as it needs to be trimmed. So thank you so much for watching. This is my super cute V-puff stitch dog and cat beanie. I hope you guys enjoyed this unique and different beanie. Something very different, and I think it's really adorable, and it's really warm, and with the puff stitch it makes it feel a lot more warm. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys soon in another tutorial. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and please do not forget to like this video and leave a comment. If you decide to make this beanie, please go ahead, and in the description box below is my email. You can send me a picture of your pet with this beanie, or you can even just send me your finished project, even on anything that you have made of mine. So thank you again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.